the universe, answer my questions. What is my life purpose? And today I am going to be talking about finding your life purpose through astrology. Let this video gone viral for the good reasons. I am coming out of spiritual closet. It is the feeling that if I produce something good, or maybe bad, you never know, that it will potentially be seen by a lot of people. And it could be my downfall, or it could be a good start of something. Okay, this is not very comfortable. This is not very comfortable. 1 second. If you want to be successful, you need to find your life purpose. What is my purpose? Like, why I am here in this world? Your life purpose isn't something that you go after, isn't something that you search. It shows itself to you. My life purpose revealed itself through astrology, but the real answers are within you. You are the only person who has the answer. But before starting this video, I would like to light this candle. By the way, I made this candle. This is a homemade candle. I'm going to light this before we start talking about this session, and so I can maybe center myself or think about, how this candle could help to light my mind and the room and this YouTube video. Let's see. Okay, let me wish something. Let this video be seen by so many people. Let this video gone viral for the good reasons. Okay. Oh dear. Thank you. I was burning my hand, my finger, so I'm gonna be careful. Okay, so let me center myself in the room. I am coming out of spiritual closet. What that means, for a very long time, I forget to put my microphone. I just realized I forget to put my microphone. So I'm gonna take my mic back, and then I will carry on speaking. And I'm still feeling so nervous. Hey guys, so I light my candle, and now I'm gonna drink my water. I am trying to I will try to get in the flow, and oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm just feeling so nervous, and I'm just trying to relax. I know that I am taking this video in my home, and I know that I'm in a safe environment, but it is the feeling that if I produce something good, or maybe bad, you never know, that it will potentially be seen by a lot of people. And it could be my downfall, or it could be something, a good start of something. I always questioned, what is my soul's purpose? Why I came to this world? What is my purpose? Why I am here in this world? I always had these very existential questions, and I searched for answers for a very, very long time. And obviously, during your life, you go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and you grow by it and you learn from it, which is beautiful. What is beautiful about life? There is uncertainty. But I guess you got to live and discover yourself. And so I will go back to a point in my life where once I was, graduated from university, and I was doing my internship back then in Istanbul, and potentially I read it somewhere. I was reading about all this spiritual, not spiritual things, but self-development stuff, where I said I want to be successful. I want to do something about my life, because it seems like everybody's following the same thing. Everyone is doing the same thing, and I want to be different. So I was reading a lot about this self-development stuff, and at some point I remember reading something like, oh, if you want to be successful, you need to find your life purpose. A purpose that is beyond you, that is so great, that is so big, that it surpasses your ego and your your little self. Essentially, you're just becoming a channel for that purpose to flow, and that it could go crazy. It could go bigger and beyond yourself and your imagination. And I thought, okay, that is something I need to work on. And I thought maybe I need to find my purpose. And I thought it was going to be easy. Like, you know, maybe potentially something that you like, maybe something you're good at it. And I thought if I could read a couple of books, you know, I'm going to be there. But it didn't work that way. So it was back in 2012 when I asked that question. And I even remember on my Facebook page, I said, you know, I posted like, oh, I am looking for my life purpose. And if I find it, I'm going to stick to it and I will live by, you know, my soul's purpose. And I've been searching since then. Funny enough, we are in 2026 and I'm still trying to figure it out. But recently, I kind of like came to a realization that it started showing itself. It started revealing itself. And I noticed your life purpose isn't something that you go after, isn't something that you search. It shows itself to you. It walks with you. It prepares you. Your whole life prepares you for your life purpose. My entire life was built for this. I mean, not only because of this, but you kind of understand why you develop certain skills, why you have been through certain trauma, why, you know, all these things. So I'm going to talk about what is my life purpose and how I found my life purpose through astrology. Because the things in order to find my life purpose, I searched a lot of different sources, including, you know, journaling, meditation, self-reflection, working with a therapist and doing shadow work and healing. And, you know, I even went to psychic mediums and you know, energy healers, and I did my own personal research. I used astrology, numerology, you know, all that. And, you know, maybe you don't need to, you know, you don't need to go so crazy searching about your life purpose. And maybe sometimes if you just let it go, if you just open for it, it's going to show itself. And in my case, I was so stubborn that I kept searching. But at some point it revealed itself. You know, my life purpose revealed itself through astrology. One second, let me drink this water because I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going with the flow or if I'm just kind of like forcing this video. But anyway. And I mean, obviously, one thing, a disclaimer that I need to tell, like a lot of people tells you, look within. Obviously, when you look outside, you can obviously see a lot of things and interpret it, but the real answers are within you. It is embedded with your soul, and you are the only person who has the answer. You are the only person who knows about your purpose. And obviously, through astrology, I could understand what it could be, but it was some sort of like intuitive download. It was some sort of feeling that I thought, aha, that was it. That was it. That's why I was so obsessed with the unseen, with the unknown. And my purpose is about translating human consciousness. That's why I kind of developed sort of interest in understanding the archetypal consciousness or human consciousness or higher consciousness, you know, how we can access to higher dimensions of reality or the wisdom. And today I am going to be talking about finding your life purpose through astrology because I found mine through astrology. Essentially, I could start the story from my university years. So I studied law in Turkey and qualified as a lawyer and came to the UK, did my master's and worked for corporate companies. But for my entire career, and until even now, I'm questioning, what is my life purpose? What is it, my life purpose? Why I came to this world to do? Like, I must be blessed with a gift or some sort, or a mission. I should have a mission in this life. What is it? So that I could find and live by it. And, for many years I kept questioning. I worked with psychotherapists. I worked with hypnotherapists. I even asked to psychic mediums. I did my own research. I did meditation, journaling, self-reflection, and asking all sorts of questions to the universe. The universe, answer my questions. What is my life purpose? And obviously I questioned. There are a lot of things that I like. There are a lot of things that I fear, that I'm afraid, that I'm scared. But there are also a lot of things that I feel skilled and competent in my life. And I thought it should be somewhere in between. It should be somewhere in between. Anyway, one day, one of my friends, she's an astrologer, and she was, quite interested, all these astro shenanigans. And she said, "Oh, Kadir, do you want me to check your astrological chart?" And I was like, "Of course, why not?" And she checked my chart, and obviously, I knew my, sun sign, in Aquarius, and then my moon in Capricorn. I actually didn't know much, but she told me a lot of stuff about my birth chart. And at some point she said, "Oh, your North Node is in Pisces. Oh, that's so interesting. Your journey is about, discovering the unconscious, bringing unconscious to the consciousness. It's like Carl Jung." And I was like, "What? What is that?" I've got no idea. What is that she was talking about? I didn't know what is unconscious. I didn't know who Carl Jung was. And I've got his red book. I couldn't even read. It's just so complicated. But, when my friend suggested that my North Node was in Pisces, I was kind of disappointed because I don't really like Pisces. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I was like, Pisces is like very sensitive and emotional, and they're a bit escapists. They're not very practical, are they? And so I kind of like, okay, what is your North Node? What is that all about? And then I started doing some research on my own. And years later, obviously, I kind of like discovered my life purpose, which was, again, connecting with my higher self and sort of like translating human consciousness and, connecting sort of with the unseen. I mean, not necessarily connecting with the unseen, but with the unconscious world, if you will, and sort of translating that into human language, something that we can understand, because it is not something tangible. And I believe, my journey is going to be about sort of translating human consciousness into something that we can understand on a day-to-day basis. It shouldn't be something very complicated. And then I noticed, I had this deep interest in the things that we can't see. And I was kind of like scared as well, but I didn't like uncertainty. I didn't like spontaneity. I didn't like things that we can't control. I want to understand with my mind. I don't like emotions. And apparently in this journey, in this life journey, my, mission is all about kind of developing Piscean qualities. And then, okay, I'm going to be talking about this, astrological placement. What is what is South Node, what is North Node, and how you can find your soul's purpose through astrology. And essentially, South Node is something that you kind of overdeveloped in energy, a sign that you overuse, you overextend it yourself. You use that energy a bit too much that it works from its shadow. It's kind of not really good for you in this lifetime. And your soul kind of decided to come to this life to correct that energy, almost like go towards the opposite element, opposite direction to balance the scales. And apparently in my past life, I did a lot of Virgo stuff. And Virgo is all about, this tedious work. It's about your day-to-day routine, your, health, kind of like physical well-being, essentially it's all about, there's health care professionals. It is about, having attention to detail. They like to work very diligently. It is about your day-to-day routines. It is about your work, essentially. It's about your workplace. And the energy of Virgo is very practical, very grounded, down to earth, and they like to organize everything. Everything has to be very clean, very neat, very organized, perfect. It is all about eliminating, there's work, this doesn't work. There's work, this doesn't work. And so they like to create a structure. They like to have a system. They like to have a routine that they can follow almost every single day. It is like a machine, or a bit like robots, if you will, because doing the same thing again and again and again and again and again. So apparently my past life energy was in Virgo, and it suggests that in this life I need to go towards the opposite direction to develop Piscean qualities. And these two energies work well because one is about physical health and the other one is about sort of mental health. The Piscean energy is about sort of non-tangible stuff. It's not about physical health. It is about, your soul. If Virgo is about your mind, or being practical, if Virgo is about your mind, Pisces is about your soul. If Virgo is about seeing little details, where is it? There's this tiny dot. There's a little detail. Whereas Pisces is seeing the big picture. Whereas Virgo is practical and structured, Pisces is free-flowing. It's creative. Pisces is about seeing the big picture. Whereas Virgo energy is very detail-oriented. They want to make things perfect in this physical reality. And therefore, if someone is operating from the shadow of Virgo element, it can be very rigid. Things only done in certain way. You cannot do it in any other way. There's no creativity. It has to be this way. And they have to be on time. They have to be precise. They have to be very analytical. And on a negative note, obviously positive note, we all need analytical skills, and that's beautiful. But on a negative note, it could be analysis paralysis. It could be constant analysis, constant nitpicking, criticizing, finding fault in people and things, and seeing people as projects. Like, oh, let me correct you. Oh, your thing is about, let me correct it. Oh, let's correct it. They want to fix everything. So that was my past life energy. And now apparently it is working from its shadow, and my soul is asking me to develop qualities that are Piscean. What is Piscean qualities? Pisces is all about spirituality, healing, arts, creativity, compassion. It's about connecting with your senses, with your intuition, with your emotions, allowing yourself to flow. Don't be so rigid, so structured. It's almost like letting go of structures and allowing things to flow. Don't plan everything so rigidly. Allow things to unfold in its own course. Don't try to be so perfect. Perfection in this life for me, unfortunately, it's I don't know why I said unfortunately. Yeah, so unfortunately, if sort of perfection in this life, it doesn't work in a way that I want it to be, and so my kind of like soul is kind of like pushing me towards a direction where I kind of like develop these Piscean qualities, which is, again, I'm saying creativity, flowing and allowing things to unfold in their own course. Pisces is quite a lot related to the dream world. It's about fantasy, it's about imagination and creativity, and a lot of when we talk about these movie stars or cartoons or even books, not still a book, but the aspect of imagining and creating something that is so otherworldly, something that is we can't see, we can't think. It's just like you to imagine something that isn't there. So it is about that is essentially Piscean energy. I mean, obviously, so this journey, to my understanding, is that I need to let go of that sort of the shadow qualities of Virgo, which is nitpicky, overanalysis, rigid thinking, perfection, working endlessly and thinking that you're gonna make it if it's all about sort of manual work in a way. It's kind of like mechanical energy, if you will. Whereas on the other hand, Piscean energy is more about feeling, sensing, intuitive. It's spirituality, connecting with the fairies and all that. I mean, essentially, it's kind of like, this journey, anyone who is a similar journey with me, who has Virgo South Node and Pisces North Node, they will understand my journey and how it feels. Because in our life, there's a lot of uncertainty that we can't control. And essentially, this journey is teaching us to surrender, trust to a higher power, something that is beyond us, that we don't see, we don't know what it is. But you kind of have to trust and surrender, because we know that in this life you can't control everything. You can't. And this journey itself is teaching you to surrender. And so I am in this journey, and I'm exploring my life purpose through astrology. And I am walking towards my North Node by learning and developing more Piscean qualities. And I'm hoping anyone who is on a similar journey will understand me. If you do, please share in the comments, and I would like you to give me thumbs up for my video. Make lovely comments in my following videos. Potentially I'm going to be talking about how to do shadow work, how can you use astrology to do shadow work, or different archetypes, king, warrior, magician, lover, to do shadow work. Even like 4 main elements, water, air, earth, and fire, then I can map all them to different archetypes, even to different astrological signs, even different body parts. And I'm kind of like developing different methodology to do shadow work. Obviously, you can do shadow work in many different ways, but I noticed, astrology is such a tool that you can actually use it for shadow work. Because if you're working, if you I mean, your South Node could show you something, your Pluto could show you something, your Chiron is quite important placement in your chart, and it could show you something, and your sun sign, your moon sign, they're all relevant. They're all really, it shows your whole chart, there's an algorithm that it shows almost like how you function on an energetic level. Hence why I'm thinking it is such a good tool to do shadow work. And potentially on the next session, I'm going to be talking about how you can use astrology to do shadow work. But I also like archetypes. I may talk about archetypes as well. Anyway, so this video should be it. I did my best. I tried to get into flow and you know, record a beautiful video. Hopefully it turned out to be a beautiful video. I don't know. Hopefully it is. Questioning myself. Should I post it? Should I not? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm thinking of creating more videos about spirituality, astrology, life purpose, shadow work, numerology, or you know, different aspects of life and finding meaning in this life. If you're interested in this kind of videos or concepts, please like my video, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I'm hoping to see you on the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.